So let's start. Today we are going to start with the list and okay, list, tuple, and dictionary. Cover all these data types, and we'll try to finish them so that from Monday we can start function. Okay. So any question in string? Anyone? Okay. So let's do few programs on. Okay. So
Uh, Abhishek,
yes.
uh, good morning. Abhishek, your voice is slightly muffled and it's coming in slightly low. I don't know, might be um,
Uh,
difficult to report.
now is it fine?
Better.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So I'll give you one problem. So just try to do that. Give me a second. So try this. This one you have to do using loop. Okay. This problem you have to do using loop. Okay. And one more problem. Yeah. This one using string method. Okay. So these two problems.
Uh, Abhishek,
Yes.
can you paste that input output into the chat that for the string so that we can copy it? Yeah, thanks.
So try this. These two problems, one using loop and one using string method. One more problem you need to do using loop. Okay. So but try this two. Is it done? Anyone? Okay. Let's see how we can do that. So this is the string. Now if you see the pattern, so for all the even characters, the letters are 2 letters ahead, correct? In output, 2 letters ahead, correct, for even characters. And for odd characters, or the characters at odd positions, in output, the characters are 2 letters behind, okay? So what we need to do, I'll get one output string, which will be an empty, and then I'll be running the loop for range length of s. Now here I'll check if I percentile 2 equal to 0. Then I'll do something else. I'll do something. Okay. Now if it is even, means if it is 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, right? Then the output character should be 2 letters ahead. Then what I will do, out underscore str plus equal to, first I will try to get the ordinal value of that character. So I'll write s of I. Okay. I'll get the ordinal value. Then if it is even, then I will add 2 to that. And once I'll get that, I will convert it into CHR. Okay. So I'll get the character. Now I'll get it outputted into the output string. Whereas when it is odd character, then I will do -2, and then I'll get the corresponding character. So finally I can print output string, which is this one. Okay, fine everyone. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now the next one, what we need.
Abhishek, can we also use instead of range of length of s, can we also use for I in s?
I in S, if you will do, how you will go to the, how you will find which one is even and which one is at odd positions.
Okay, right. Thank you.
Okay, so the next one is just what you need to do. You need to match this character, okay, till here, and after matching, you have to get the index of this p in that. Okay, once you'll get the index of p, then you can subtract you can subtract 1 from that index, and you can multiply that number with the star. Similarly, after getting the index of this, you can add, let's say the index is 29, 20, 30, 31, 32. So you can add 4 into that, and after that you can find the length, total length, and from that length you'll subtract the index till 33, and you will multiply it again with the star. So this is one process using loop. But if you want to do it using method, then there is a rjust and ljust method. Okay, so basically rjust and ljust method are used for just, for example, let's say if I have a string s is equal to, we have that string. Okay, so let me take it. S is equal to Python. Okay, and if I will write s dot just. Okay. R just and L just. Okay, so we have value with what you want the justification to be done. Then the separator, sorry, not print. Remove this. I'm getting this. Okay, so for R just we have width and fill character. Okay, so it returns the right justified string of length of the width. Okay, so the string whatever you have written, let's say if I will write here Python is what is how many characters, 6 characters. I will write width as 10 and justified character will be a star. So if I will run this, if I will run and print this, so I will get that this string is justified by 10 characters. Okay, means total 10 characters, how it will count. So 6 characters in the string itself and 4 characters are the this justified character whatever you have written. Okay, so total how many characters we have? Total 10 characters we have, but if you will see here it is justified towards right. Okay, let's say if you will not give this star, then the justification by default is taken as a space, so you will see that here 4 spaces are coming. Okay, similarly you can apply L just method. So if you write ls dot L just and you will write here, let's say I'll write here s1 is equal to this. So s1 have 10 characters. Now you want 4 more spaces on the right hand side. You will do L justification and you will write s1. You want 10 and 14, right? So 14 comma 14, that's it, and this one will be s1 dot left justification. Now there are 4 spaces on the right hand side and 4 spaces on the left hand side. Basically what our justification does, it keeps the spaces on the left hand side, and L justification does, it keeps the spaces on the right hand side. Okay, if you will not mention any justification character, but if you will mention the justification character, for example I can mention star. Okay, here also I will mention star, so it will justify the string with the help of the star. Now 4 characters on the left hand side and 4 characters on the right hand side. Same R just and L just method you have to apply here. What you need to do, you need to get the index of this peg. Okay, once you'll get the index of peg, so it will return you the index of this p. Okay, so you will do the R justification till this peg, okay, by the star, and similarly you will add 4 into this, okay, into the index of p and get the total length of this string. Subtract the length of index of k minus from that length of the string, and then again do the L justification, okay, with the star. So apply this method R just and L just, and similarly you can see for other method, if in assignment if you find any such method which has to be applied, and if you don't know that method, then you can do it, you can check using shift tab what method and how exactly it works. Okay, yes, fine. Any question?
So instead of counting stars, we can put a loop also, that if star, then else.
Yeah, so I told you the first option you can go with the loop only. So
Okay,
if
okay,
you
fine,
run the loop, that will be quite a big one. But using RJust and I'll just also you can do. Okay.
perfect,
So
fine.
this is from the string assignment, and it needs the same problem you have in string and in the loop also. So try it with loop, and then when you go to the string assignment, try it with string. Okay. Fine.
Sure.
Okay. So we are done with this. Now let's move to the list. So list basically is what list we have seen, that list is a sequence. Okay, there's the first thing. Now, if it is a sequence, then what all things will be allowed? So it will be an ordered collection of elements, first thing. Second thing, indexing and slicing will be allowed, correct? Apart from this, the basic operation like concatenation, repetition, okay, and membership. Okay, this all operation will be allowed. These all are the basic operation. And you know how you create a list. So anything kept inside square bracket forms a list. Okay, and elements should be separated by comma. Okay, so all the elements should be separated by comma in the list, and all the elements should be kept inside the square bracket. Okay, now in this list can take any data type as its element. Okay, so it can accept any data type as its element, mutable, immutable, fundamentals, derived. Okay, any data type, it doesn't matter, and thus it allows duplicate element. Okay, fine, it allows the duplicate element. So if you will compare, see, this list generally looks like an array, but it is not an array. List generally, so how do you define the array? So any array, array is a collection of unique element, array is a collection of homogeneous element, right? So only, let's say if you want to create an int type of an array, so you can keep only integer value. If you want to create float array, you can keep only float value, but list can take any type of value. For example, if I'll show you, so a is equal to, or let's say lst is equal to, if I will write uh, in the square bracket, you can keep, so this is the integer, then we have float, then we have complex, then we have a string, then we have a boolean, none. All these all are fundamental data types. Inside this you may have a list also, a tuple, a set, dictionary, 300. Okay, so you can have multiple elements, any kind of elements inside a list, and if you will print, there is no problem in this. Okay, and even the type also, you will get it as a list. Okay, fine. So list is basically a collection of heterogeneous element. You can keep any kind of data type inside this list, and it allows the duplicate elements. So for example, I may have here the duplicate value to two Boolean values. Okay, so it allows the duplicate element. Okay, so which data type does not allow the duplicate element? So set data type does not allow the duplicate element. Okay, this is it. So now let's see how we can create a list. So there are different ways of creating the list. First, if you know the element, then you can directly keep it inside the square bracket and you can create a list. Okay, so this is one way. If you know the element, elements are low in number, then you can directly place them inside the square bracket separated by comma. That will create a list. Second is, let's say if you want to take the list input from the user. So if you remember from input function, I told you that let's say if you want to take the list input from the user, then you should not, like for example, if you want to take the integer input, then you can do int input, enter a number. Okay, you can do this. And if you will, if num1 int one. So if you will run this, so let's say if I'll enter 100, it will be taken as an integer and it will give you that the type is integer type. So this typecasting is allowed only for fundamental data type, but for derived data type, if you will try to do this, let's say you will write list of input enter a list, okay, and print lst comma type of lst1, okay. So if you will run this, then what will happen? Sorry, this should be lst. Let's say if I'll enter a list here, 10, 20, 30. Now here you are getting where is that error? Enter a number, okay, and this 10, 20, 30. Now you are getting it as a list, but whatever list you have entered, that has been converted to the string input by this input function, and this as a string has been passed to the list function. Now how list function works? So I have shown you list function works. I have shown you that if you will write print list of, let's say, any string Python, then it will create a list of elements where the element inside this list will be the element inside this string. Okay, every element of the string will be taken as one element of the list. Okay, so internally something like running the loop over this, picking one element and appending it into the list. Okay, so this is the same process is applied in this case also when you are going to take the input from the user and do the typecasting using list function. So whatever list you will enter, that list will be taken as input. So even square bracket comma and the element inside that, for example numbers 1 and 0, everything will be taken as a element of this list. Okay, so what we need to do, we cannot do it like this. So for example, if I run this 10, 20, 30, it is going to give me like this. Okay, so we are not going to do the typecasting using list function. Rather, we have seen that we can do it using lst is equal to eval function. Okay, and eval function basically evaluates based on the input you are passing. It will check whether it has the square bracket. If it has the square bracket, automatically it will convert it into the list type. Okay, so the required list you will get. Okay, so if you will run this code now, so enter 10, 20, 30, and you will, what happened, lst1. Okay, so you are getting it as a list, and you can see the list you are getting is in the required format in which you have entered. Okay, so this is one way of getting the list from the user, and there is another way to create a list using split function. Correct. So if you remember, split function returns what? A list. Okay, for example, let's say if I want to get a list from a given string, right? So we have a string here. This is the string we have, Now, if you want to get a list here, then we can simply apply s dot split, and that will create me a list, right? So this way also you can get a list. So these all are the different ways of creating a list. Okay, fine. Now, in the list, we know that the elements are separated by comma. So in the list, all these values, so this is one element, then this is at this is second, this is third and fourth, and so on. List also follows the same way the string is stored in Python. First, this whole list object will be stored, and that will be referenced by LST, and this individual elements will be stored in the heap area. Okay, everyone? Fine?
Yeah.
Okay, so the list follows the same similar to string. Okay, means whole list is referenced by LST, and then individual elements are stored separately. Okay, fine. Now, if you want to access, so we have that it follows the index, so it follows positive and negative indexing, both similar to string. Okay, similar to string, it follows the positive and negative indexing. Positive indexing from left to right and negative indexing from right to left. So let's say if I want to access this, then how I can do that? So I'll be writing print of LST and then the square bracket. What would be the index of this? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if I write 7, I'll get this list, correct? Now, so this is the nested element we have, correct? So whatever sequence you can see here, like this Python, then this list, this tuple, then this is set, and this dictionary. So obviously these all are not the sequence, but let's say if you are able to see the sequence here. So in this sequence, we have got, when we wrote LST7, we got this sequence. Let's say inside this sequence, inside this LST or sub element, we want to get this 20. Then how I can get it? So this is called nested indexing. So in the list, if you want to do the nested indexing, then you will write the square bracket again after this first square bracket, which gives you the element. And if you want to access the sub element inside this element, then you have to write again the index of this 20, which is 0, 1, and 2. So index of 20 is 1. So if you write 1, it will give you only 1. Okay, fine. Similarly, let's say if I want to get this 200, so how you can do the, how you can access the value inside the dictionary? So you will write LST of -1, which is going to give you the dictionary, and inside this -1, how you can, inside this dictionary, how can access the value? Using key. So you will write 2, it will give you 200. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you can slice the list also. So for example, if you want to slice these 3 values, okay. So what you need to do, again, you need to write print LST of this is 0, 1, 2, 3, and this is 4, 5, 6, 7. So basically you will write 4:7. So it will give you these 3 values in a different list. Okay. Now this list which has been created, that creates a different copy. Okay, so if you are going to make any changes, now if you remember, list is a mutable data type also. List is mutable data type. Okay, so but if you will make any changes inside this list, okay, it will not make any changes to this list, existing list, or the original list. For example, if I write LST of 4:7 is equal to 100. Okay, now for column 7 of I will write 0. Okay, is equal to 100. Then if I will print, and let me do this way. First, let me assign this to another variable, sublist sub lst is equal to this, and then sub underscore lst of 0 is equal to 100. Now print sub underscore lst and print lst. Okay, so till here let me comment this. Yeah, so if you'll see in this sub list where you have made the changes inside this, it has made the changes for sub list, but it is not making any changes to the original list. Okay, so what happens when you do the slicing, it creates a shallow copy. Okay, slicing creates a shallow copy. Now what is shallow copy? So let's say you have a list. Let's say you have a list, LST is equal to 10, 20, 30. Okay. And if I will write LST1 is equal to LST, fine. So if I will write LST1 of 0 is equal to A. So will it make the changes to LST also?
Yes.
Okay. So let's say if I print LST comma LST1, it is going to make the changes to LST as well. Why? See, this operation is called aliasing. Aliasing means giving another name to an existing object. Okay, so LST is already existing and you are giving another name to that is LST1. Okay, and this LST is pointing to what? This LST is pointing to this list object. Means this object is existing and this object now has two names, LST and LST1. For example, you may have two names, one professional name and one normal name with which everyone calls you, your friends and your colleagues calls you. Okay, so that is the aliasing. For now, if you will check here, LST is LST1, so this will return me true. Why? Because ID for LST and LST1 is similar. Okay, so since it is similar, so making any changes to LST or LST1 will reflect the changes in both. Is that clear, everyone? Any question?
Yes, clear.
Now let's see what is shallow copy. Now shallow copy, what it does, see, so we have a problem here. Let's say if I will write, if I want to make the changes to LST1 but not in the LST, then with this process we will not be able to do. So what we do, we create a shallow copy of this list. So what I will do, I will write LST2 is equal to LST, and using slicing you can create a shallow copy. Okay, so now if you will print LST2 comma LST, so the values are similar. Okay, here you have made the changes, right? So let me do this. Now if you see LST2 and LST, the values are similar, but if you will write LST2 is LST, then it will return false because ID of LST2 and LST are not similar. So you can check print LST ID and ID of LST2. Okay, so IDs are not similar of LST and LST2. Okay, so now what I will do, if I will make any changes to LST, for example, LST of 0 is equal to A. Okay, so it will make changes to only LST but not to LST2. Okay, so if I will run this, so I will get the output as In LST, the changes has been made, but in LST2, the changes has not been made. Clear? So this is the concept of shallow copy, where you don't want to make any changes to the original copy, then you can go ahead and create a shallow copy. Is it clear, everyone?
Yes, clear.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Now, so if that is the case, so tell me what will happen in this case. Let's say we have LST3 is equal to this, and I will create a shallow copy. LST4 is equal to LST3 of colon. Okay. So if I will write LST3 is LST4, what it will return?
False.
False.
Okay, so it is returning false. So if I will write this, it means both are having different ID. So if I will write this, LST4 of -1 of 0 is equal to 100. So will it make change to LST3?
No.
It will, because the element level, it is still pointing to the same objects, LST.
Okay. Yeah, so will it make any changes? So I just, no, it is, someone is saying no.
It will make changes in LST4, but not in LST3.
Okay, let's see that. Okay. If I will run this, so it is making changes in both LST3 and LST4. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. At the element level, you are changing. So LST.
No, element level we were changing here also, no? We were changing at element level here also, right?
You were changing at the element level there, but you had already defined LST to point to a different object. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Not that concept. There is a concept is, if you have a nested object, okay, then creating a shallow copy and making the changes to the nested object will make the changes in both the shallow copied and the original copy. Okay. If you have a nested object, nested sequence. Okay. So in the nested sequence, if you are making the changes to this element in the nested object, then it will make the changes to the other object also. Okay. In the case of shallow copy. So to avoid this problem, we came with the concept of deep copy. Okay. Now, what deep copy? So how this is created actually? See what happens in this case. So let me show it with an example. Let's say you are writing LST is equal to 10, 20, 30. Okay. And LST1 is equal to LST. Correct. So if you will make LST1 of 0 is equal to 100, so it will make the changes to both LST and LST1. Why and how? So let's say we know that how this LST will be created. So let's say this is LST. There are 3 elements inside this, 1, 2, and 3. Okay. And similarly, we have LST1, correct? So in this case, what happens first, this LST will be pointing to this. Okay. And remember, this is the list object. Elements are not stored inside this box. Elements are stored randomly in some heap location, correct? So let's say 10 here, 20 here, okay, and then 30 somewhere else, okay. So this LST of 0 will be pointing to this, LST of 1 will be pointing of this, and LST of 2 will be pointing to this. Okay. Now, when you wrote LST1 is equal to LST, so you are creating one more reference for LST1. So basically, this is the LST and this is LST1. These both are pointing to the same object. Okay, same list object. So if you are giving the reference of LST1 of 0 is equal to 100, so this reference will be destroyed, and now let's say one more 100 will be created, or let's say if it is existing, so now this will be pointing to this. Okay, so you have made the changes to both LST and LST1, isn't it? Clear?
Yes.
Okay, now what happens in the case of shallow copy? So in the case of shallow copy, what you do, so you have written this code. Let's see, you have written LST is equal to 10, 20, 30, and LST1 is equal to LST of this. Okay, so if you are making LST1 of 0 is equal to 100, then what will happen? So in this case, since you have created a shallow copy, okay, so in the case of shallow copy, let's say this is the LST. So this is where your LST is pointing to, correct? So I'll say this is LST, okay? And since you have created a shallow copy, so what will happen? So shallow copy, this again, same thing will be created. But internally, these numerals, this 10, 20, 30, they are following object usability concept. So they won't be recreated. This LST1 will also be pointing to these same objects. Okay. So this is your LST1. Because of that slicing or because of that shallow copy operation, you have created a different reference of LST1. Okay, LST1 is a different object, LST is a different object because of that shallow copy creation, and internally they are pointing to the same individual object. Okay, let's say if you are saying LST1 of 0 is equal to 100, so you are going to destroy this reference, and this will be pointing to a new object, let's say 100, which is created, and it will be pointing to this, but your LST of 0 is still pointing to 10. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, clear.
Now, but let's say if you create a deep copy, or let's say if you have a nested element, then what happens in that case? So I have LST is equal to 10, 20, 30, comma 10, 20, 30. Okay, and if I'm writing LST1 is equal to LST of colon colon. So this, using this, you are creating a shallow copy. Okay, now let's say if you will write LST1 of -1 of, let's say, 0 is equal to 100, then how it is making changes to both the LST and LST1? See, if you will do LST of 0, let's say here you will write LST1 of 0 is equal to 1000. It will make changes only to LST1 but not to LST. Okay, for example, let's say you have this list. This is for 10, this is for 20, this is for 30, and next. Okay. Now we know one thing, that what we have 10, 20, 30, 10, 20, 30, right? So in here also we have 10, 20, 30, and here also we have 10, 20, 30. So we don't have to create a separate element. We have 10, we have 20, and we have 30. Okay, this is LST because you have created the shallow copy, and this is LST1. Okay, now LST of 0 is pointing to this, LST of 1 is pointing to this, LST of 2 is pointing to this, and LST of 3 is pointing to this nested list object. Similarly, LST1 of 0 is pointing to this, LST1 of 1 is pointing to this, LST of 2, LST1 of 2 is pointing to this, and LST1 of 3 is pointing to this. Okay, now LST of 3 or LST1 of 3 of 0 is pointing to which object? 10 object. This is pointing to 20 object, and this is pointing to 30 object. Clear? Fine, because this is the object usability concept, so they are pointing to the similar object. They will not, let's say if it is 1, 2, 3, then 1, 2, 3 will be created separately, and this will be pointing to 1, 2, 3. Okay, but if you will see LST of 3 and LST1 of 3, they are pointing to the same nested list object, right? So if you are writing LST1 of 0 is equal to 1000, then what will happen? Let's say 1000 is created in the heap area. Okay, this reference will be deleted, and this will be pointing to 1000. So now you will see that nested list reference is changed, not the outer list reference is changed. Correct? So still they are pointing to this nested list. That's why if you are making the changes to the nested list, it is making the changes to both LST and LST1. But let's say if you are going to do LST1 of 0 is equal to 1000, then in that case this reference will be destroyed, and LST1 will be pointing to 1000, but LST is still pointing to 10. Clear, everyone?
Sir, this 1000 which you said is LST minus 10. Am I right? It is not LST1 of 0. It got confusing.
LST minus 10, yes, 1000. So I have written 100 here, but I have
No. Actually, yeah. But when you're speaking, you said LST1 of 0, and you're pointing here, right, to the 1000. So that's why I got confused.
LST1 of 0 is this. LST1. This is LST1 of 0.
So can you explain this? Explain this again, please.
That LST minus 1 of 0 is 100, but you made it 1000.
Yeah, 1000. I made it 1000, so that might create a confusion. So let me remove this. This is 100. Clear? Now this is fine.
Abhishek, could you please repeat it so a little more clearer, please?
Okay. So see what happens. You have a list LST, which is having this 3 element and nested element. Okay. So how this will be represented in the memory? LST is pointing to this outer list object. This is the outer list object. And inside this outer list, you have an inner list. So that inner list separately it will be created. And remember that list is not going to store these objects. It will always refer to the objects in the memory. Okay. So this is just a reference. Okay. Now what you have done, you have 0, 1, 2, which is 10, 20, 30, it is pointing to them. And the last index is pointing to another list object. So that is the list object we have created here. And this list object is again pointing to some other objects 10, 20, and 30. Okay. These all are the references which we have created. Similarly, what we have done, we have created a shallow copy using this colon operation or slicing operation. So one new LST1 object will be created according to this shallow copy concept, whatever we have learned here. If you do shallow copy, then a different list object will be created, whereas in the aliasing, the same it will be pointing to the same list object. But since we are doing slicing, it will create a new LST1 object, and LST1 is this one. Now here also you will be having the same structure as this. So it is pointing to 10, 20, and 30, and this last one is pointing to this list object, inner list object, and this inner list pointing to 10, 20, and 30 like this. Now what you have done LST minus 1 of 0 is equal to 100. So you are doing LST1 is this, LST1 of minus 1 is this, and of 0 is pointing to 100. So this 10 will be destroyed, and this minus will be now pointing to 100. So since it is minus 1 of 0 is pointing to 100, so this same list is referenced by LST also. You have made the changes to LST, but it is same list. This is the same inner list pointed by LST also. So the changes will be reflected in both LST and LST1.
Yes,
Okay.
got it. Got it.
Now let's say if you will write LST of 0 is equal to 1000. So LST of 0 is this. This is, they are pointing individually to 10. So if you are writing LST 0 of 1000, so this 1000 is created for LST1 separately, but not for LST. LST is still pointing to 10. Okay. Fine.
Yes, sir, fine.
Okay. Now to avoid this, we have the concept of deep copy. Now what deep copy does? So we will have the same structure as this. We will have the same structure as this in the case of deep copy, but this when you create a deep copy, this reference will be separate. Okay, so LST is pointing to this nested object and LST1 will be pointing to a different nested object. This is for LST1. So for nested objects also a different reference will be created. Now this will be pointing to 10 separately, this will be pointing to 20, and this will be pointing to 30. Now if you are making changes to LST1 of -1 of 0 to 100, then for this it will be changed, not for LST. For this it will be still be same. Okay, understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Everyone?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see how we can create a deep copy. So to create the deep copy, we need to write from copy module import deep copy, and then we have, let's say, LST5 is equal to deep copy of LST. Okay, where we have LST, not LST3. Okay, now let's say if you will do this change, LST5 of -1 of 0 is equal to 100, right? So LST3 and LST5, if you will run this, you will get that for LST3 it is not changed, but LST5 it is changed. Clear? Fine, everyone?
Yeah.
Yes.
Abhishek, just had a small query. So I would always use deep copy instead of shallow copy, right? Why would I want to use shallow copy then?
Yes, so it is better to use deep copy if you are making any changes and you don't want that changes to be stored permanently in the original copy, then you should go for deep copy always.
Right. Okay. Thanks.
Okay. Fine. So this is about shallow copy and deep copy. This is one important concept in the list. And now we are going to discuss the method in a list. Okay. Methods in a list. Now, what all methods we have in a list? So if you want to check the list of methods inside a list, you can simply go ahead and write dir of LST or list. Okay. So it will list you the list of methods, whatever are available inside a list. Panni, do you have any question?
No, sorry, I raised earlier, so I'll just I forgot to lower my hand. Sorry.
Okay. So now what we have here is, see, you can see there are a lot of methods which are starting and ending with double underscore. So as we have discussed in the string also, we are not going to focus on these method a lot. The main method are these method. We are so any list related operation which you will be doing using these methods only. So we will focus on these method and we'll be learning about them. So out of this, we have already discussed append method and remove method. We also have seen index and count method in the string. It works similar to the string, and we have already seen we have created a shallow copy right here using colon. So to create the shallow copy, there is one more method is there. So using slicing, you can create the shallow copy, and one more way to create the shallow copy is copy. Okay, using this copy method, you can create a shallow copy. Okay, And apart from this, rest of all the methods we'll discuss. So we'll discuss about all of them. Let's start with the method to insert. Methods to insert an element inside a list. Okay, let's say we have a list. List is equal to, we will take that same list. This list we are going to take. Okay, now inside this list we are going to append. Now append method always adds the element at the end of the list. Okay, so if you will write, let's say lst dot append. Okay, and if you want to add let's say a range function, so you write range of 10. Okay, now remember, if you see yesterday's class, let's say if you'll see here in the string, whenever I was applying the method, I was directly printing this print s5 dot is title or is space, or let's say s dot upper. It was returning me the string in the uppercase. Okay, so I was printing the method directly after applying that method on a string. I was printing that. Even here also you can find an index, then you can find a strip, split, join. All these methods are returning something. Why? Because string is immutable object and it creates a new string. Okay, and this all method returns a new string or some different object. Okay, this all method returns some object. But since list is mutable object, so what it does, whatever operation you are going to write, almost all the operation, they make the changes into the existing list. Okay, like in the string, it creates a new string. Existing string or the original string will remain unchanged. For example, if you are applying upper method, okay, let's say if you will see here, we have applied upper method. So after applying upper method, it has created a new string with all the letters in the uppercase. But the original string is as it is. If you will print s here, so it will give you the original string as it is. There is no change in the original string. But in the case of list, why? Because list is immutable. But in the case of list, when you apply any method, it makes the changes to the existing list only. Okay, so it will make the changes to existing list, and hence it returns most of the method in the list returns none. Okay, so if you will print these methods here, you will get none object. Okay, you will get none object. But yes, if you will print list here, then you will see that the changes has been made to the list. Clear? So because of this immutability property, almost all the method makes the changes to the existing list only. Clear, everyone? So almost all the method, most of the method will return the none method, okay, which is doing some operation on the list. Clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, so this is to add the element at the end. Now, there is one more method is called insert method. Now, this insert method, using this insert method, you can add the element at the specified position.
Sir, if I may.
Yes.
So a quick thing. So when you printed LST, it gave a range of 0 to 0, 10. It did not put 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 till 9.
So why? Because I have just created a range object. If you remember, I have told you that if you write range of 10, okay, it creates a range object, correct? But if you want all the element, then you have to wrap it around the list object, correct? That creates a list.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. So using insert method, similarly, this insert method also returns none. So I will write here returns none object. Okay. This method also returns none object. So if you will run this, so let's see. I don't need to print. I will write lst dot insert, and I will insert, let's say, I will insert, this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At 5th position, I will insert what I need to insert. Let me insert a list itself, okay? Just give me a second. Okay. So I'm going to insert what. So let me first see. First, you need to give the index and then the object. So index will be what? The index will be 5th position, and the object will be a list 10 or let's say 100, 200, 300. So I'm going to insert this list at 5th position. Now, what is 5th position? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is at 5th position. So here, this list will get inserted and rest all will get shifted towards the right hand side. So now if you will print this method, this is again going to return you none, but if you will print list, you will observe the difference or you will observe the change. You will see that this list has been inserted at 5th position and rest all has been shifted towards right hand side. Okay, fine, and this returns none. Clear? Now one more method we have using which you can perform the insert operation, that is extend. Okay, now extend, what it does, it extends one list into another, okay, and returns none. Okay, for example, we have this list and we have one more list, lst1 is equal to we have 100, 1000, 10,000, 1 lakh. Okay, this is a list we have. Now we want to extend lst1 into lst. Okay, so I will write extending lst1 into lst. Okay, so I want to extend lst1 into lst, so I'll write lst dot extend lst1, means extending lst1 into lst. Now if you will run this, so it will return you none object, but if you will check lst, so it has been extended with the lst1. Clear? Fine. Is it clear, everyone?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
one question.
Yes.
What is the difference between append and extend method?
See, append method takes one element, okay, but this can take one list. So let's say see, if I will write lst dot append and print lst. Okay, so see, if you are writing append method and appending the object, so the same object will be appended at the end in the list. Okay, so you are appending list object, the list object has been appended, whereas extend method extends this list and all the element of this list are added as the element of this original list. Clear?
Okay, basically append method has input parameters as anything, any object, but extend has only input parameter as a list, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Sir, one question that I could do the same thing by just putting a plus sign, am I right? And extend LST is equal to LST1, LST plus LST1.
Yeah, you can do that, but what will do that? So let's say if you're going to do, if you're basically concatenation, you are saying, right?
Yeah.
So let me comment all this, and what I will do, if I will write print LST plus LST1, okay. So it will create one object as extend, but it is not making changes to LST.
No, so I was saying LST is equal to LST plus LST1.
Yes, you can do that. That is the option you have. But again, that, see, if you remember why we have the method, okay. Method, if you are going to do any operations using method, they are written in C language or they are pre-compiled method, okay. So they always be faster compared to any other operation which you are going to do manually. Okay, so in the case of LST is equal to LST plus LST1, it has to do first concatenation, it has to do the type checking and all, because it is dynamically typed, it has to do the type checking and all, and then it has to do the assignment to the LST again. Okay, so all this takes a very small amount of time, but yes, that is not, you know,
It's not efficient, you're saying.
yeah, it's not efficient. Basically, writing these operations manually is not efficient. That's why we are using Python, no? Because all these operations, if you go to C and Java, you have to do it manually, right? Nowadays, they are also coming with lots of APIs, but still, when you compare the Python method with the manual operation method, always wins in terms of time.
Got that. Thank you. Thanks.
Okay. Okay, so this is about inserting an element inside a list. Now, next we can remove the element from the list. How we can remove the element? Okay, so for removing the element, we have remove method, we have already seen. Then we have pop method also. Okay, so let's see that. Okay, now let's say we have this list LST, and removing we have already seen this. If you want to remove an element, removing an element, write value. Okay, so I'll write print. This also returns using remove function and returns none. Okay, so if I write lst dot remove, and if I write, let's say if I want to remove Python, okay, then it will be removed and it returns none. If you will print lst, you will observe the changes. Okay, Python has been removed from this list. Okay, so this is using the value. Let's say if you want to remove the element using index, then you have pop method, and pop method is the only method in the list which returns some value. What it returns? Returns the removed element. Okay, fine. Now let's see that. See, pop method can be used in two ways. One without any argument, and second one with an argument where you can pass the index. Okay, for example, let's say if I'm writing print lst dot pop without any argument. Okay, by default it will remove the last element from the list. Okay, so if I run this, it removes the last element and it will return you the last element. Okay, removed element. Clear? And the other way to do this is you can just write print lst dot pop and you can pass the index. For example, I want to remove the element at index 5. If I run this, I will get that this has been removed none. Okay, so this is none is the fifth element. So instead of writing that, let me write 7. So it is removing this list. Okay, fine. So pop method can be used in two ways. Yes, Penny?
Sir, can we give a range slice basically for removing
No.
in pop? Yes.
No, I don't think so. Let me check. Good question. lst.pop. If I will say lst of 5, 7. No, no, it shouldn't work because it takes only the index, not the group of indexes or group of elements. Basically, no. So obviously, it will not take. See, you are passing the index here, right? And lst 5:7 gives you a list of values, right?
Yeah.
And that to a different list it creates. Okay,
So
not
might be it can work in remove because the values can be given in remove. So LST57 gives values and that goes in remove. I don't know.
yes. Probably it should work there. So let me check. No, it won't work. It won't work. Why? Because see, this LST 5:7 is pointing to a different list object, right? Not these elements, correct? Fine.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
That creates a different copy, right? So it will not work.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh,
So if
Probably
by
we can
mistake you add some,
copy. Sorry, go on, Pannu.
I was saying, so if by mistake you add some 10 elements, then you have to sit and remove it manually, one by one by one.
Not exactly. Yes. So, like, if you have those elements at a different locations, then you can put the index into into a list, and then you can run the list, and then you can apply the pop method. Not one by one operation you have to write.
Got it.
Okay, so that way you can do. Yes, Madhu.
Yeah, probably we can assign this LST 5.5:7 to another list and then remove.
Yes, correct. Then we can apply remove method. We can run that one by one. Yes.
But LST and LST1 won't be same, right? At that time.
No.
Yeah, but we can put a for loop and take that I is equal to the value for the
So
value.
what you will do,
One
you
point.
will write LST1 is equal to LST of, let's say, 5:7. Now you will remove, for I in LST1, what you will do, you write LST dot remove of I. Okay. Now print LST here after doing this operation. So run this. You will get that all these values are removed. 5 and 6 should be removed, right? So 5 and 6 are removed. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So this is how you can remove an element from a list. So this is about pop and remove method. Next we have okay, so I'll discuss copy method. Copy method is just to create the shallow copy. Okay, so copy method is
I have one question, Abhishek. Can we use this remove method on shallow copy as well, on shallow list?
yeah, you can see on any list you can use remove method.
Okay.
Okay. Any list you can use. A shallow list is not a different concept in the list. Okay. So let's say we have LST is equal to, we have LST already. I will create LST1 is equal to LST dot copy. And now if I will check print LST is LST1, so this will be false because LST ID of LST and LST1 will be different because of this. Okay, copy method. Now next the methods we have is clear, count, and index. Clear, count, and index. Now count you already know. Let's say for example we have a list here. LST is equal to 10, 1, 100, 1, 200, 20, 1, 300, 3, 4, 1, 200, 9. Okay, so if I will write LST dot count of 1, so this will give me the total count of 1, how many times 1 is repeated inside this list, total 5 times. Okay, this returns a value. Similarly, we have LST dot index. If you remember, index returns the first occurrence of the element. Okay, so I'll write check here whether where the 1 is existing, so it is existing at first occurrence is 1. It will always returns the first occurrence. Let's say if I want to check where 200, what is the first occurrence of 200? The first occurrence of 200 is 4. If I want to control this, I can write check between 5 and 9. So between 5 and 9 there is no element, so this is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and it will check till 8. Till 8 there is no element from here to here, 200, so it is returning me value error. Okay, we don't have find method in the list, we have only index method. Okay, fine. Now clear method is used to delete.
One question, what does it return if you don't pass anything to the count method? Is it going to count the number of element in that list?
See, basically, if you're not going to write anything, yes, it will not count the number of element. Basically, it counts like there is nothing you are counting, right? So it will return 1 less than or 1 more than the number of element. I think total elements are here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, right? If you will run this, count takes exactly 1 argument. Okay, so here it is taking, but let's say if I will write here, not in list, but in case of string, what happens? Let's say if I will write it takes 1 element, you have to write 1 element, LST dot count. Let's say if you will write empty string, and if you will run this, sorry, S. If you will run this, it is giving you 46. Now, what is the length of S? Print length of S is 45. So it gives 1 more than that, 1 more than the length of the string. Okay. Here in this case, you can check what exactly it will look for. Like here, you cannot say empty. If you will pass empty list, then no, it is giving you 0.
If you give a colon, might be, I don't know.
Colon, that is doesn't take. Okay, so you have to pass 1 argument here basically in this. So,
okay. Can we also use the length function that you used in the string in order to count the number of elements in the list?
yeah, length function you can use. I have told you beginning.
Okay.
You can use the length function on the list to count the number of element inside a list.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay. Now, clear method is used to delete the elements from the list. And it leaves the empty list behind. Okay. Returns none. Now, print. If you write LST dot clear, so it returns null. Okay, but if you will print LST here, so it since it has deleted all the element and it will keep an empty list behind. Okay, fine. Clear, everyone?
Yeah.
Yes.
So the next method we have is reverse and sort method. So a reverse method basically reverses a list returns none. So let's say we have one list already, right? Print list. This is the list. Okay, we have this list. Now we will write print lst dot reverse. So this is going to return none, but if you will check lst, it has reversed the list. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Where is that?
Yeah.
No, 1 minute. Where is yes? Ah, now it is fine. Yes. So not this, remove this. I'm taking some other list. Which is the list? Let me take this list here. Now lst dot reverse if I'll apply. So now this is done. Now it is fine, correct? Probably it was taking some other list. Anyway, so lst is equal to this. Now lst dot reverse, it has reversed the list, and then we are getting the list in the reverse order. Okay, we are printing the list. Okay. Now sorting is what? Sorting is, it can be done in two ways. One is ascending order. So ascending order means low to high. Okay, and you have descending order. So that is high to low. So for this, by default, you can apply the sort method. Nothing change you have to make here. But descending order, in sort method, you have to make one reverse attribute as true. You have to set this reverse as true. Okay. So for example, let's say if I want to sort this list, I will have this different list. LST1 is equal to, yes, Panini?
Sorry, sir. Quick thing. So LST dot reverse is not in place. It will not make it permanent. What I'm trying to say is like every other like append, extend, clear, everything was making it permanent.
No, LST dot reverse is making the changes in the LST. So it is permanent change in the LST.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Nice.
It is the permanent change in LST.
Okay, sure. For me, it's giving slightly, might be, I'll recheck it.
Okay. Fine. Now, next we have this. Let's say this is 10. This is 1000. This is 20. This is 200. This is 2000. This is 30. This is 3. So this is a list. Now I want to sort this list. So I will write lst1 dot sort, and if I will run this, this returns none. So let me print lst1 here. If I'll print, it is sorted. Okay, it is sorted in the ascending order. So ascending order is default. Okay, and if you want to make it in descending order, then what you need to do? So you have to write here lst1 dot sort, and here you have to make reverse equal to true, which is by default set to false. Now if you will write lst1 So now it will be reversed in the descending order. Okay. Fine, everyone. Clear?
Yeah, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Is it a permanent change for LST1?
Yes, it is permanent change in LST1. Okay.
Okay.
Abhishek, one thing. List is a collection of non-homogeneous elements, right? So, then when it is sorting non-homogeneous elements, how it will work on that thing?
Sorry, a non-homogeneous element.
Yes, like the list, the
Correct,
LST.
correct. Yes. So let's say if you are trying to do this, sort on this. So basically, sort internally applies comparison method. Okay, and comparison method doesn't work on different data type. Okay, so sorting different lists with different data type. Okay, so if you'll try to sort lst dot sort, it will give you the error. Okay, error is this operation does not support between set and dictionary.
Okay.
Okay.
So sort only work in case of homogeneous elements in a list.
Yeah, homogeneous element. That's why I've taken only integers. Okay. Yeah. So Ujjwal, reversed and sorted method. See, let's say these all methods are related to the list. Okay, you can apply on the list. Okay. See, reverse. I'm writing reverse. You cannot write reversed here. Okay. And see the way I'm writing this reverse method, I'm applying this on the object, list object. But reversed and sorted are the function, and they are available. Reversed and sorted are the functions. Okay, available in built-ins class. Okay, now let's say if you will write dir of double underscore built-ins. Into this. Now, if you will see here, there is a reversed method, okay, function, and there is a sorted function, which can be applied on any kind of sequence object. Okay, for example, let's say you can apply this print reversed. So reversed takes a sequence and returns a reverse iterator over the value. It returns an iterator object. Okay, so for example, let's say if I'm writing reversed of LST. If I write reversed of LST, it is going to return me the reversed iterator object. Okay, it is similar to the range object. For example, when you write range of 10, what it returns? It returns the range object, right? You cannot access the value inside this until unless either you can wrap it around the list function or you can run the loop here. Similarly, in the reversed list also, this is a generator object. If you want to get the element here, then you have to wrap it around either the list object or you have to run the loop here. Okay, now you will see that it has done the same thing. Okay.
Yeah, got it.
And similarly, sorted works in the similar manner. So that also returns the sorted iterator object. Okay, so to work on that, you have to wrap it around either list or tuple function, or you have to run the loop over it. Okay. Now, Gayatri, how to delete the multiple occurrences of the same number from the list? For example, you are saying, let's say if I'll take this list. No? Yeah, this list. So in this list, you have multiple occurrences of 1. How you can delete that? So using method, we don't have any such method where you can delete, but yes, using loop, you can do that. Okay. If you want to delete, let's say, multiple occurrences of 1. So let's say I will write lst dot remove, and if you will see the syntax here, it takes the value. Okay.
We could add this list to a set that would delete the duplicates, right?
Sorry.
We could add the elements in this list to a set.
Yes.
And set to remove all the duplicates.
No, you don't have to. You don't have to remove anything. If you want to just remove the multiple element at a time, you can simply go ahead and write s is equal to list of set of LST. Okay, and now print s. Every element will be deleted. Okay.
But then it will remove all duplicates. If you want to remove only one set of duplicates,
Yes, it will remove all duplicate. If you want to remove, let's say, only one, okay, then you can write a program. Okay. So what I will do, anyone having any method can tell me, but I will write a program for this. I will take ind is equal to -1, and for I in while true, I will check ind is equal to lst dot index of, I want to delete 1. I will write 1, comma, ind plus 1 till the end. Okay, I will get the index. If this will return me the value error, so I will write it in the try except block. Try except ID. Now I will get the index, and I will apply lst dot remove ind, and finally I will print lst. So it is removing first, but it is not removing next. Why? And is -1. This is true. So come here. Ind is equal to lst dot index 1. It has found the index. It will return 1. Ind is 1. Then lst dot remove ind. Then fine. And then it will go back to the loop. So ind will be
Probably we need to run the loop till index becomes empty or the list becomes empty.
sorry, what you are saying?
Probably we may need to loop through until the index or until the list becomes empty.
Until the list becomes empty. No. That is the.
Would you not say ind -1 instead of +1? Because you're starting with -1, so you have to
-1 plus 1 will become 0. Yes, this will be +1. Index is what? So value, then start will be 0. Yes, correct. So this is goes till here. This is fine.
So, or we can just put a for loop now for, let's say, I in the LST, and we just say if I is equal to the number we want to delete, just remove it and just put the loop.
Okay, I'll check that. Let me check
Yeah,
this. What is the problem in this?
sure, sure.
So then I index is 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 2. Why it is printing 2?
Do you think we can create a map from this list and then identify the keys which have same element and then delete all those keys?
There are a
Remove
number of
those.
ways you can do that, but this one I have tried somewhere. So let me check 1 minute.
Okay.
Where is that index method, right? So list. It happens when you write the program after so many days. So what?
Sir, quick question. IND is giving, what is IND? IND is the reference to the index, not the element, am I right?
IND is giving me the index.
So when you say remove IND, you're removing IND. You should be saying the remove list IND, LST
Correct.
IND. No?
Sorry. LST of IND. So yes, now it is fine. So this should not work. Yeah, one has been removed. So all the duplicates means all the ones are removed. Okay. Now you wanted to keep one, this one or whatever one you wanted to keep. Then you can do the changes into this. For example, if it is the first occurrence, okay. So you may write here one if. Basically you can make the changes into this. So like you can check what I have done. I have removed all the occurrences of 1. Similarly, if you want to remove all the occurrences of 200, you can write 200 here in this, and then you can remove the all occurrences of 200, but it will not keep the first. So for example, if you are writing lst.remove, lst.remove, okay. So whatever is the first occurrence of this element, it will remove that. Then let's say if you're writing again lst.remove, so second occurrence it will remove, then third and fourth and so on. So if you are basically running, let's say if you have four elements, so you have to run this lst.remove 4 times, and then it will remove all the 4 occurrences. So that same operation we are applying here using this loop, okay. But if you want to keep the first element, then probably you have to check it, like, when it comes for the first time, you have to skip that, and then you have to start deleting from the next element. Okay. Fine. Any other question? How to delete the multiple and same number from this? I think it is done. Any other question? So there is a list assignment. Try to do that, and there is assignment on sorting. Okay. So that sorting assignment, try to do it using loop and using sort method both. Try and accept we will cover later, Shubham. That is the exception handling. Okay, probably I'll cover it in the next class, exception handling. So that from now onwards, whatever program you are writing, you can use that exception handling concept in those programs also. Okay, on Monday. Fine. Any other question, guys? So I think I will stop it here. I'll not go to tuple or dictionary because again, it will be extended to the next class. So instead of that, we will cover it in the next class. Yeah. Yes, this is also remove one from the list. Yes, you can do that. See, yes, I forgot to do the list comprehension. So there is a list comprehension concept. What is this list comprehension? List comprehension is the shortest way, or the simplest way to create a list. Okay. So as of now, we have seen that the different ways of creating a list. Using list comprehension also you can create a list. For example, let's say if you want to create a list of all the even numbers, okay, then what you can do, so all the even numbers from 0 to 20. So one way to do that, you will be taking one empty list, lst is equal to empty list, and then for I in range 21, okay, 0 to 21, if I percentile 2 equal to 0, then you will write lft dot append I, else you will write continue, and finally you will print the list. You will get a list of all the even numbers. This same operation, you don't require to declare different list and this all number of lines. You can simply go ahead and write print. Here you want the number, so you will run the loop on for I in range 21, okay, and you want that number to be I, right? So you will write I, and you want only even numbers. Here you write if I percentile 2 equal to, okay. Now if you run this, you will get the same. I for I in range 21 if I percentile 2 equal to 0. That is the for I. Okay, so you'll get all the even numbers. Okay, now similarly, let's say if I want you to create this problem is there, if there is an outer list and there are inner list. So basically 2-dimensional 2D list you have to create. Okay, where here the element are 0, 0, 0 and 0. Here 0, 1, 2 and 3. Here 0, 2, 4, 6 and here 0, 3, 6, 9. Okay, so you have to create this list. So you can do this using the normal this loop iteration and all. Try to do it using list comprehension. Okay, what is this list comprehension? List comprehension, if you are creating a list, okay, using this operation, then that is called the list comprehension. The syntax for simple is that the syntax for list comprehension is you need to write this square bracket, then here you need to write the expression which you want to evaluate or which you want to be appended as the element inside the list. Then for here you will take one variable in some sequence, and then if you want, you can write some condition also here. Okay, so this is the syntax of list comprehension. So Sagar has given some problem for this. So let's say if I will take this. So this is 1 and he wants to remove 1 and 1 from this. So yeah, E for, we'll take E for E in item underscore list. If E not in 1 comma 0, not required, you just write this, okay, 1 comma. Or you may write E
I was getting 0. I was getting error when I just mentioned 1.
E if E is not equal to 1. Okay.
Okay.
Now if you'll get this, you'll get 2, 3, 5, 6. Okay. Fine. Hey everyone. So any other question, guys? Anyone? No?
Sir, will you be putting, I saw that you had put some, this thing, assignment on list, I think.
Yeah, for list, 1 minute. Yeah, for list and string, both you will get the assignment by today afternoon or by maximum by evening, 5 o'clock, you will get the assignment on the list and string, okay? For this one, I have already uploaded. For loop control. For loop, I have already uploaded.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. So in the same section, I'll upload for list and string as well. Okay. In this assignment flow control, string and list assignment also I will upload. Okay. Fine. That's it. Any other question, guys?
Hello.
Yes.
I think we are left with GitHub's something, right?
GitHub, I have taken the class for GitHub, right? For you guys, I have not?
No, sir.
No.
No.
Okay, so I'll take it on Monday. Remind me when I'll start the class, I'll take it on Monday. Okay. Have you guys created the account on GitHub?
No.
Yes.
I have not taken. For some batch, I think I have taken this. This Monday, I took the class on GitHub, no?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay.
so fine, I'll check. On Monday, we will take one class on GitHub. Create one account on GitHub. Okay. GitHub, create one account on this, and also there is Git SCM. Okay. Download this Git SCM on your system. Okay. So just go to downloads. Those who are Windows user, you can click and you can download it here. Okay. From here. And those who are Mac user or Linux user, they can go to this page. Okay. And you will see that here there is a command brew install Git. So you can use this command to install Git on your system in terminal. Okay. You have to type this brew install Git. Okay. So get it installed on your system, get it the account created on this GitHub, and then I will take the class on GitHub on Monday. Clear? Thanks everyone. Any questions?
One more thing.
Yes. Please go ahead.
I received a mail having the assignment. There is some comments and all, but I couldn't see any of them. I couldn't see any of them. How to check that comments and all?
Comment is mentioned in the Google Classroom. Comment is not mentioned in the your assignment. Okay.
Okay. Do we have a class at 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. today? Like doubt clearing session, something like that?
Not today. We have tomorrow. Tomorrow, Saturday. Saturday, we have one class at 8 p.m.
Okay,
that is assignment review session.
Okay.
So tomorrow 8 p.m. we have another doubt clearing class.
Another?
We have a class on tomorrow 8 p.m. right?
Yes.
Regarding that assignment.
Assignment review session. Only assignment review session. Okay.
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 Okay. Thank you.
Fine, everyone. Thanks for joining. Bye. Have a great day.